Hello, hello. Oops, I got the thing on. Is that right? No, I. Oh, wait a minute. No, I think it's playing. Should be playing. I have my headphones on, but the microphone is on. So there we go. So should be playing. All right. Well, howdy, folks. Back for more. Back for more animation. Animation. Yes. Yes, speaky animation. So pick up where we left off. Let's see here. We will put this in the little viewer here. There we go. So there's our scene. So we've done some in betweens. We're going to keep doing some more in betweens. I think we still got a few more at the end. I'm debating too whether or not I'm going to clean this up or not, because cleanup is a nice touch, but sometimes I think you don't necessarily need cleanup. Sometimes, if you draw something clean enough, like I've done here, you may not need to clean it up. However, if I do decide to clean it up, it's probably going to be on a separate layer, which is a much better way to do your cleanup. But the only bad thing about that is that it takes longer, obviously, because you have to go over every single drawing and clean it up separately. Which, like I said, is not necessarily a bad thing, but since animation is already takes as long as it does, anything that you can do to sort of speed the process up is something that I always like to do, which is probably part of the reason why I like to work cleaner. Yeah, animation is just so labor intensive that you know, like I said, if you can cut down the amount of work, then I think you'd want to do that. So let's see here. Like in here now, we had 3 frames in between from here and here. I think we could probably get away with. I don't know that we necessarily have to add another drawing in here, so I'm gonna take this down to 2 frames. I'm gonna take this. Says 4. So I think what I'll do here is I'm going to split this, duplicate, split it halfway, so that this previous drawing we can get into the last drawing. So like we're already there, but the only thing that's really moving here is the hair. So I think this one I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna just in between the hair here and save myself some work. So yeah. I always, I will always look for, I will always take the path of least resistance if the path of least resistance seems to be a sensible way to go. I can honestly tell you, I have no qualms about taking the path of least resistance. I don't see any need to do work that I don't need to do. Now, as I get to this drawing, see here he's settling, or here he's actually closing his eyes. I think what I'm going to do here, same thing. That's 4 frames in there. I'm going to split halfway again, duplicate split halfway, and then that'll be so that the first part here where his eyes start to close, I'll use that as an in between to get into that closed eye. So, I'll do my in between here, and I'll save the rest of the body so that there's no reason for me to trace that body completely, since the duplicate will give me a much better tracing that I could do by hand. However, I think what I will do here, since the hair is coming down to stop, I think what I'm going to try here, I'm going to try something here. So I'm going to say the hair is coming down, stops there. Now, what if I get So I'm going to get to here where it would stop. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it a little bit more and see how that works. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have it move just a bit more. Here. And then when we get to this frame, see it's coming back. So I think what I'll do here, so it's down, then it would come back up to here. But I think what I'm going to do here is this frame, I'm going to have it come back up in one frame, or two frames rather. So here's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to have it, let's see, it's down, and then it goes back up. See, so I'm doing a, like it's recovering here. It's down, but in this drawing, it's really coming slightly back up again. And actually, see here, since I got him looking, let's see, that's, what is that? That's 12 frames. Okay. Yeah, so what I could do here, well, I could split, okay, so I got 12 frames there. I could duplicate split this halfway. So now what I have is two here, two 6-frame balances here. I could, let's see. Okay, yeah. All right, well, I could do this. Okay, so I got two, okay. So I could split this here. Let's see. Okay. So in other words, what's happening is the hair is going down here, but it's starting to come back up there. So here's what I'm thinking of. Like, okay, have the hair keep going down. Maybe it's, see here I got it going down and coming back up, but I think going down. So here I would have had it start to, it's coming back up, but I think what I'm going to do is, you'll see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to carry it down even further. Like I'm following through on it. I'm giving it more of a reason to loop back up again. Okay. And then here where I have this 6-frame bit, I'm going to split that, duplicate, split that halfway. Why? Because that'll give me two 3-frame increments in here, of which now I can use that to come back up, you see, with that hair. Because he's not really doing anything there anyway, except blinking his eyes back open again. But I could have the hair start to come back up and settle. So on this 3-frame bit, I can start to bring the hair back up again. So if I erase in here and just deal with the hair, see, I could have the hair start to kind of whip back up into its final position. Let's see. It's not a real violent whip. It's just kind of, it's come to the end of its move, and then it's kind of, it's like if you were moving a flag along, and then you moved it so that the flag would fly and flip back up to its position. You know that, yeah, that's kind of how you do it. It comes back up to there. So what I'm doing is that's what I'm doing. I'm bringing the end of the the hair back up to where it was. bringing the, see what it's doing is the hair's coming down, see, and then it's starting to go back up again to here. All right. Now, just so we can kind of see what we got here, let's just look at this by itself. So let's watch the hair. So you see what happened there? See, it comes down and it comes back into place, you see. Now, I have these two drawings in here on 3s. I think what we'll do is, instead of having that be on 3s, I'm going to make that on 2s. And, yeah. And then one of these, let's see, he's blinking. See, so he's blinking there. So this frame here, I think we should have his eyes open back up again. So I'll do that on that frame. I'll pull this out where you guys can see it better. So let's see. All right. There you go. So you can see what I'm doing with the hair there. See, looks. Yeah, so you see I just have it flick back in position. Because that's kind of what it would do. The hair is it's going to keep moving. Technically, it would keep moving. So he blinks. Yeah. And I've shortened that hold, you see, because, yeah. I could, let's see. So the hold now is probably about 6 frames. So, like, that's this drawing here. So I could lengthen this out more. Like, originally it was 12 frames. I could make it 8 frames. Give it a little bit longer hold. Let's see how that works. It's almost kind of imperceptible. I mean, if I'm going to hold that, I guess I need to make a point of holding it. So, in other words, realistically, if that's 8 frames, let's say I made that 12 or 10 frames, then you're going to notice it more as a hold. See how that looks. Yeah, it's like there's a little bit more of a moment there for us to register the look he has before he goes into. So in a sense, actually, maybe we ought to make more of it. So 10, let's make it 12. Let's try that. 12's a half a second. Yeah, that's not bad. So then, yeah. Because he's very deliberately coming back into the look, closing his eyes and blinking again. Well, let's see. We could. So we got 12 frames there. Well. So we blink to get him there. Let's see. Well, let's see. We could do. Well, because almost in a way, I kind of am wondering if maybe it's not really making a point of, the hold is either something that we are going to stay on a moment or not. The more I look at it, the more I wonder if maybe it's. I mean, we're coming right out of the hold. So there's the look. And you were coming right out of it. We probably need a blink in there. Or something. Because it's almost kind of saying, like, do you want to stay on that drawing? Is there a reason why we want to stay? Because when you make it a point to get to a position, you almost kind of in a way, what is the purpose for why you have the look there if you're not focusing on something? So, okay, let's just say for the sake of argument that I'm right about what I'm saying here. I don't know if I am or not. It feels like I am. Okay, so let's say it's right now it's 12 frames. let's say I split. Okay, let's say I split it halfway again. Duplicate split halfway. So now we have two 6-frame increments in here. Then let's say I duplicate after. So what I've created now is three 6-frame increments in here. Then let's say okay, let's say I split that. Duplicate, split the 6 frames. Okay, so what we could do here then is we could okay, so we could blink the character here. So let's say we have him. Let's see, how do I want to do that? Well, okay, wait a minute. Let's see. Let's do this. What we got here is 2, 3 frame. Okay, so let's say we go. We make this 3 frames 4. So we need one blink to come in and one blink to go out. So okay, let's say then. Okay, so let's say right here we have the eyes come down to blink. The next frame, the eyes are closed. Like that. So this is 3 frames. Okay, so that's 3 frames, and then here, we split this, duplicate, split this halfway. Now here, the eyes come back open again. And then on this one, they kind of settle in open position up a little bit, a couple of frames here. And then they're open. But now here, well, actually, you know what? No, let's do this. Let's see. Ding. Oh, he starts to, oh, wait a minute. So let's see. His mouth is open there. Blink. Oh, I see. Blink. See, he's starting to move there. So, does he move his mouth? Oh, okay. All right, well, let's do this then. What is that? That's, yeah, we're in the next drawing. All right. Did I do that right? Let's see. Hang on a second. I might have done it wrong. Let's see. You know what? I think I did that wrong. Let's see. Okay, so that's, yeah, I think I did something wrong here. Let's see that. Okay, I think I see what I did wrong. All right. Okay, I see what I did wrong. All right. I want it to be in. I want him to hold on that look. I wanted to hold on that look longer, but I wanted to put a blink in between, and I was breaking the drawings up to put the blink in between. So, okay. So this drawing is now 3 frames. All right. So we got our blink. That starts to happen there. The eyes close. They start to open, and they're open. So. Let's see, that's 6 frames. We'll make this 2. We'll make this 2. We'll make this 2. And we'll make this 6 frames. Right. Okay. Let's see if I'm right. Yes, well, that's right. It's just he still isn't holding long enough for that to make a point. So let's say we take this 6 frames here, and we extend it and make it say 10 frames. All right, and we'll play that. Yeah, he barely holds on that. That's interesting. He's alive enough. Um, that's an. It's really almost enough. I mean, if I make it 12 frames, I'll add 2 more frames here. If I make it 12 frames, that feels about right. Interesting. That just goes to show that how long something is held or not held, how it registers on your eye, is how the drawings work together that give you a certain feel. But I think that's a matter of individual taste. See, I'm looking at it, and maybe as you guys are looking at it from where you are, maybe it feels different to you. I don't know. I have no way of knowing. So, huh, interesting. Okay. Well, there you go. Let's see. So then he's coming down into here. Yeah. Right. Well, I think maybe what might be good here. Sometimes what I'd like to do is step away from my work and look at it sometimes a little bit later to see if I'm right or wrong about my instincts. It feels like that's a good lively flavor there where he stops and because when he goes into this last position, it's really more of a different thought process, slightly different. It's going along with what's there, but you can see now where our attention is drawn to that pose because of what the hair was doing. He has one attitude. He sees something and he reacts to it and changes his expression. The timing there feels okay. It feels okay. I think what I'm going to do is kind of step away from it and look at it later. Okay, with saying that, then I'll stop for now because I think I kind of need time to let my brain absorb what I just did. I do usually in a course of animating something myself. I don't necessarily come back to it the very next day and let that much time go by. In a case like this, I probably either would stop and have a cup of coffee, come back and do it, and do that. But since you guys are going with me, I'll just pick it up tomorrow because it makes more sense. And that way you also, for those of you who are looking at it, could also see where my head's at on that. See, and then I'll look at it again tomorrow and see how I feel. I may keep this or I may change it. So it's the beauty of animation. As Richard Williams says, you can always change it, you see. If you're doing an improvisation, you do it, well, that's it, But with this stuff, as he would say, you can keep changing it, You can improvise. I loved Richard. Richard Williams was never afraid of hard work. And that is probably the reason why his work is so beautiful. All right, folks, I will see you all tomorrow. Have a beautiful evening.